What's happening, guys? Cap over here, and welcome to week 4 of the SBN. As today we're taking on Omega Jolteon, coach of the Chicago Carracostas, a team that we're quite familiar with. We played them 3 times last season and losing out to them in the semifinals. So this is sort of a little vengeance match over here, a little grudge match between us. And yeah, I'm pretty hyped for this battle too. He's got a really awesome squad. Just looking at the 6-4 that he brought in too, that's pretty much that's a top tier squad that he could really bring in, and it's frightening. It's really frightening. But if you want to support your Toronto SwaBlu Jays, be sure to smash that like button, sub to the channel. We're so close to 200. It'd be fantastic if we can reach that. And you also hear me stop saying that too. And yeah, anywho, I'll talk a bit about the team that I brought in today. So I'm bringing Toxapex, Absol, Diggersby, Infernape, Latias, and Florius. Florius is my light screen setter, pretty much my main way of dealing with Thundurus T. Thundurus just hurts my team so badly, and if I can play around it, then I can, I might be able to take it down. And some of those ones that could potentially take it down would be the likes of Absol and Diggersby. Absol is pretty much just mono dark type moves, so Pursuit, Sucker Punch, Knockoff, and Swords Dance. Just because the Uxie over there is a annoying mon, my team does not want to take Stealth Rock damage, and I sort of wanted to make it pay. With the likes of, I can get a lot of damage off of it and really make it pay. So hopefully we can get that going on. Diggersby is just awesome all around because it just breaks so many things. Earthquake, Return, Fire Punch, and Knockoff is just great coverage. It hits everything on his team for super effective damage, which is fantastic. So if I can slowly chip away at his team, Diggersby can really have a field day over here and really put in a lot of work. Toxapex is my main way of stopping Emboar, Scizor, Uxie, well, sort of Uxie. And it is a fantastic check to Manaphy if it does not have any hidden powers. If it does, then it still doesn't really do a lot of damage, and we can sort of play around with it just because it has the ability to haze out those stat boosting moves and whatnot, and it's pretty good in that way. It's pretty good. Then we've got our choice bandit Infernape, which just packs a punch. It can really break a lot of things on his team. Having U-turn, Close Comet, Flare Blitz, and Earthquake, I believe. I think Earthquake is the last move. It's just to deal with things like Nidoqueen, Emboar, hit Scizor neutrally, and it just puts on work. I really wouldn't mind clicking Earthquake at any point in this battle, while Flare Blitz and Close Comet are just great stab moves paired up with a choice pen. A lot of things on his team does not appreciate it. And then we've got our Latias over here, who is just pretty much a Latias. It is meant to, do some work, do some damage, but I wouldn't imagine the biggest impact in this game. It also does take on Emboar 2 relatively well, just stopping its, or just resisting its 2 stabs. And the only thing that could really hit me with is with Sucker Punch, but if that's the case, then we can sort of play around that. Anywho, let's get this battle on its way. I'm gonna lead off with Absol. Figured it's my best way to lead because I was predicting him to lead off with Uxie. And there you go, Uxie's right in the battle. And at this moment I'm like, alright, I'm clicking Pursuit. No way is he staying in. This Uxie is gonna play a big role. And Uxie's faster than Absol. And I was like, what, are we in Gen 5, I guess? Gen 6? So what's going on over here? I've got the speed boost. Uxie shouldn't be faster. This is weird. This is absolutely weird. So he put a lot of speed investment on this thing, enough to outspeed the Mega Absol, and I'm like, oh dang, that's pretty cool. But I go for the Pursuit, and that does a lot of damage. 77.5% to be exact. That is fantastic damage. That is damage I'm willing to take. This makes this Uxie a lot more manageable, but I gotta keep in mind that this thing is faster than Mega Absol. So that's sort of my indication of where I'm gonna stand with that Uxie speed. Speedy Uxie. So that's a new thing going on over there. This moment I'm just going to save my Mega Absol just in case for the Uxie or something like Thundurus. Go for the Sucker Punch. But he ends up going for the U-turn, which he suffers some Rocky Helmet damage. I'm like, I don't mind that because that's what this thing's meant to do. As he makes a good double over here, going right into Scizor, luring out the Florges. And I'm like, oh dang, this man is out here to play. This ain't a child's game for him. He's playing it pretty good. As I can just go right into my Scizor check. Once again, just Mega Scizor over here is just looking bigger as he's going to suffer some Rocky Helmet damage. That's going to be really good damage later down the road because it helps Infernape to go for the Close Combat. I do make a prediction. I predicted him to predict me to switch out into either Ladias or something like that. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to stay in. I'm going to stay in and see what he does. Earth Power has a small chance to KO me. And just guessing from the damage over here, he's an offensive variant. So bit of a risk on my part, but hey, it paid off for me. I can go into La Capitina as he ends up going for the Thunderbolt, which is fantastic for me. Gets a crit. Sort of sucks, but it is what it is. And I'm like, eh. As this nice box over here, the Shears, the Mega Scizor is going to suffer this Psy Shock. I figured, you know what, Nidoqueen is just way too good to mess around with. I'm not going for anything else, not making any predictions. Psy Shock seemed to be the middle ground play. 18%. I'm like, alright, that's cool. That's damage. It is damage. As he ends up going into Wet Dreams, making a good play over here. As, like I said before, I know that what my speed on Mega Scizor is, or my Mega Absol is, so I'm not staying in against this thing that's faster than Mega Absol. So I'm just gonna go right into my Toxapex, and what ends up happening is this thing ends up knocking itself out with the Rocky Helmet damage, not knocking out my item for some strange reason that doesn't happen. And now I'm just gonna go right into Florius because that is the play to make right at this moment. As he ends up nasty plotting, I'm like, oh dang, nasty plot. Thundurus is frightening with the substitute. Not bad at all. As I'm forced to just go for the Moonblast. I was looking at the Calcs and I was like, I can take it down if it's 1v1. Well, if it comes down to that, if it pretty much comes down to that. So at this moment, I'm like, all right, gotta set up a light screen. That's my play to make. Set up the light screen. Perfect. We're good. And now I just can go for the Synthesis. It's not going to do a lot of damage. I was doing the Calcs, it's still doing like 30% or something. And I'm like, alright, let's knock this thing sub out. Let's get it to a range where Diggsby can totally KO it and do some damage, do some work. So that's perfect for me. This Thundurus is slowly going down. He gets the crit. So I'm not upset about this crit because I called it a couple turns ahead. I was like, I hit my buddy Bill up. I was like, yo man, he's gonna get that crit. I got my box of tissues ready. I'm all set. It's gonna happen, and it does. It does. That's when you know your prediction game is on cue right now. When you predict that crit. So it's Pokemon and it happens. So I was like, oh dang, now I lost Floricus. Omega Jolteon felt bad. You can tell from the message, he's just like, oh man. But I do have a Red Ranger over here. I'm just gonna go for a return. Perfectly fine by me. I was doing some Calcs. I live a Scald. I figured this thing was defensive, so this tells me it's offensive. So I was like, I can still live a Scald, but yeah, it's pretty defensive. So I'm gonna go right into La Capitina. He goes into Shears, and once again, this is a roll over here. Don't get it. So I was also running some Calcs on this thing too. So unless if I got a low roll or he has some big investment on HP and special defense, then this wasn't a roll. But he takes an HP fire from Ladia. So I'm like, wow, that thing is bulky. Wow. I'm gonna easily faint from that thing, and I'm like, dang, oh dang. So at this moment, I know it's gonna be a long battle. It could potentially be a long battle because I'm looking at the squad that he has right now, and I'm seeing what I have right now, and his Scizor pretty much dies to the Diggersby, to the Infernape, to the, well, I guess not the Absol, but it also dies to that thing. So if I can knock out Nidoqueen, it's gonna be a long battle because Toxapex, man, if you could stand there all day. All day. So my play over here is like go for the Swords Dance. If I can get some big damage, I know what the risk is. Fortunately, doesn't work out for me. I risked the biscuit, lost my Mega Absol. That just absolutely sucks. No pun intended. Gotta force him out, go for the Earthquake. And I'm playing a bit aggressive over here. The next couple turns are big because it's me playing aggressive, because that's what I have to do. I bring out Danky Kang, fully expecting that U-turn, hoping that he gets it. Around the Calcs, Flare Blitz KOs, can go for Close Combat making that prediction, but I'm not doing that. And Flare Blitz does 75% to a defensive Manaphy. That is a lot of damage, so I'm switching out. I'm going to see what he does at this moment. He ends up going for a Stasis Leaf. He knows he's got to keep this thing healthy because it is the one thing that's going to beat the rest of my team. And I know this, he knows this, so he's going to keep on doing his shenanigans as Rocky Helmet damage still doing work right now. That's so strange. as Baconator is gonna come out, and I'm like, all right, cool, go for the Scald against a Manaphy, predicting him to go for a U-turn. And right now that's the only thing I can really do, because I was scouting out for the Wild Charge over here, and once again I gotta make that prediction. I gotta go for Scald, because if he goes into Nidoqueen, this allows me to go for Close Combat for Infernape, which will KO a lot of things on his team. And this just guarantees that Baconator will go down to Close Combat, and the Diggersby pretty much is almost close to winning. And I have to once again make another play, because I gotta go into Diggersby as he goes for the Quake, forcing him to switch out or stay in, as he ends up losing the Emboar. And now it's going to come down to a couple plays over here. I have to go into Danky Kang, predicting his... I was hoping that he wouldn't go for Scald. He doesn't go for Scald. And now I have to just go for Close Combat. I know it's a 2-hit KO, and I'm hoping he doesn't get the Scald. That would be horrible. That would just be absolutely terrible. And he ends up getting the Scald, so I lose him for an Ape. I'm like, oh dang, now I just got to go into Diggersby. The game comes down to this. And, ooh, does he get Scald? Nope, he gets U-turn, and I'm like, that's GG. Good game, Omega Jolteon. That was a very, that was a close battle. That was a much closer battle than I was expecting. Ever since that crit with the Florges, that it just tilted. It tilted me. It really did. And it was good to come back from that, because I put myself in a rather unfortunate position of really forcing the game on him, just because I did have to make a lot of plays and rely on a bit of luck to really come out with a victory for this one. There was a couple times in the game I was like, oh man, this is GG. If this happens, then that's GG. If that happens, GG. So fortunately for me, it worked out. As much as I can say that I had a lot of hacks go in my favor, or he had a lot of hacks to go in his favor, I had a lot of rolls that went in my favor just because of the sleep talk potential that could happen. So it was a good game, and we're fortunate enough to walk out with the victory. So that'll put us at 3-1. And thank you so much for watching. Next week we're going to be going against another opponent, so stay tuned for that, as we're going to keep on pursuing our spot for the playoffs. We're at plus 10 in the past 4 games, so that's not too bad. That's not too shabby. I think we're pretty high up there in the standings in terms of differential and whatnot. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Anywho, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to get going. Have yourselves a good day, and peace.